I cannot let you get out of here without giving us your future picks on what's going to happen with the Steelers this year. I know we have a lot of faith that Arthur Smith can get this run game going, but where do you see the Steelers in the pecking order of the AFC North and in the AFC as a whole?
Well, I think getting off to a good start is going to be very, very important. I do think there's going to be this team's going to grow as the season gets older, just because of the new faces that they have, really on both sides of the ball.
Mhm.
I think Thornhill coming in the secondary and Chucky Clark being there along with Deshaun Elliott. Those are the safeties have a lot to do with it. I think there's better depth right now, and particularly experience-wise at the corners. I think again when you look up front. If you get your number one pick back, that's going to be used. But I think there's depth on the defensive line. We saw Nick Herbig, what he's given now, Highsmith and TJ. So, and I think inside Queen, and I think Logan Peyton Wilson had a great first rookie year. He'll be better in the second year. So I think if you look at this roster, it's got better depth and more experience than it did a year ago. And so I think where they got to a year ago was important. But I do think understand this division has not got easier. I mean,
Right.
the Baltimore Ravens, I think, are still the most talented team, I believe, in the AFC. I think we see what Cincinnati can do, particularly on that offense when they stay together. Big questions there is on the defensive side of the ball. And then you still have the Buffalo Bills. You have the Kansas City Chiefs. You say what you want. With Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Steve Spagnuolo, they're still going to be a team to beat in the AFC. And look out for the Denver Broncos because they have gotten very, very good very quickly with a good young quarterback. So if Aaron can stay healthy,
That's the
if
big
they can create, I think if they can create that identity, and I think Arthur Smith will be able to do it, and I think Aaron will buy into that, is just continue to grow. And I think this team will be better at the end of the season than they are at the beginning of the season on both sides of the ball. So I just think it's just, getting off to a good start, reinforce what that mentality is about being in Pittsburgh. We all know it's still going to come down to it's getting to the postseason and having postseason success. But at the same time, you can't get to the postseason until you take care of business in September, October, November, and December. And I think this team will get better. A lot will have to do on offense with the offensive line, Arthur being patient, and all of a sudden Aaron creating that connection with this offensive group of elite receivers and skill players. And defensively, I think, again, staying healthy on the defensive side of the ball, and I love where they are in the secondary. And, let's just see what happens. But, it'll be a great start with the Jets, ironically enough, going against Justin Fields and Aaron going back against his team, Justin against his team. You couldn't have a better start to this season.
All right, real quick. Will the Steelers win their first playoff game? Is this the best shot the Steelers have to win their first playoff game since 2016?
I think right now this is the best team they've had, I mean, personnel-wise. And I think, again, those things have to stay together. There's a lot of continuity has to be created. And that only comes when, like, an offensive line can stay together all of a sudden through 9, 10, 11, 12 games. You look at the top teams last year, and you'll see a very common theme. Their offensive line stayed healthy. Because the offensive line stays healthy, then all of a sudden that continuity is created. Aaron gets comfortable. All of a sudden, he has more games with this group of receivers and with tight ends. And all of a sudden, Arthur gets a feel of this running game and the depth that they could have right there. That can take some pressure off of that defense. You keep that defense fresh, they can get after you and they can cover you. So I think the biggest thing is for that offense to create a sense of being able to have ball possession. You can keep that defense fresh. And I would rotate a lot of the things you have right now is keeping that defense fresh, even if it's not through snaps or the offense, even through a rotation process, because it's a long year and having these guys very, very much healthy. And that critical month of November and December, when you have to make that run, is going to be a big part of their success.